The following video is an overview of the RFID Tracking Plus application for assets. Here you can see the main application. I've already connected to the service, and this is running on a Windows PC. Over on the left-hand side, we've got some different nodes that we can navigate to explore the database. When I click on Items, this is my main search and working area. This will show me all the assets that are in the system, their status, their history, etc. From here, if I don't type any search criteria and just click the search button, I will get a list of all of the assets currently in the system. Here we can see I have 8 assets currently listed. Double-clicking on any one of these assets will load the item editor, giving me some additional information and allowing me to edit the information on here or add additional information. Some main things we can see: there is a type drop-down letting me specify the type of asset. We can give it a description. We have the EPC code, which is the RFID code, a barcode, a serial number. Up here in this tracking section, it tells me the last inventory status and location. So, was this asset found in our last inventory? And what was the location it was found in? It will also show us if it has been checked out to any specific person. This main tab at the bottom, this tracking tab, shows me an audit trail history of everywhere this asset has been inventoried in. So here we can see it started in the media center, then went to repair parts, and then was sent off-site to the manufacturer. Clicking the history button gives me an audit trail of many things that have happened with this asset. We can see the date and time it was created, that the status was changed, and so on. If any notes are typed in, such as here, sent off-site to manufacturer for warranty repairs, they will display in this history tab. If I go to the Images tab, you can actually attach images as well to this asset. So here we can see I've attached 2 different images. One is a manufacturer's picture. If I click the View button, it will open the image in my Windows default image viewer. We can see a description, manufacturer's picture, and then the second image, when we click on it, it also will show us a picture. Here you can see the description is the condition the student returned the laptop in. If we go to the Documents tab, you can see we can also attach some PDF files. So here we have a sample of the purchase order that has been attached and a sample of the warranty. I get a preview here in my window, but if I click the View button, it will again launch in full screen in my native PDF viewing application on my computer. From this main screen, there's a couple things we can do manually besides just editing some information here. If I click the Add Note button, the system prompts me to type in a note. So I can say Dell expects to ship back in 2 weeks. We can go ahead and add that note, and here you can see in our history now we've got that note added. I can also check out this item. So I'm going to go to a different item here, one that is not sent off-site, and I'm going to click this checkout button. When I do so, this checkout screen pops up and it allows me to do a lookup or enter an account. I'm going to do a lookup, and you can see I already have some different account types set up, staff and student. I'm going to go ahead and just choose student and perform a search. It's going to give me a list of any students in the system. I can choose one, check it out to a student, and I can add a note as well. And we can type a note that we did verify Kimberly's ID as she picked up the asset. Now that it's checked out, again, we can see in the History tab, we've got our complete audit trail history as well as that this item was checked out to Kimberly along with our note. we get a date and time stamp. To add a new item, you just simply click the New button, and you can type some new information into the system. You can also perform searches in here. So if I only wanted to look at found items or missing, I don't know if I have any missing, I don't. But after performing an inventory, I could say, show me all those items that are missing. If I wanted to only look at certain type of items, laptops, I could do so just from the drop down, and so on. Only look at items in the media center. I get my list right here. All of these columns are sortable, so I can click on the columns to sort by any one of them. I'm going to jump over to the configuration section and expand this. And here you can see we've got some additional sections. So account types, this is where we saw that we could check out an asset to a student or a staff member. If I wanted to add a new account type, I simply right click, choose new, and I could type in an account type. Maybe I'll just type a vendor in case we have assets that we temporarily release to vendors. When I go to locations, this is a list of any of the locations where an item can be inventoried in. So we can add a new location. And once we do so, it's instantly available in the database to any other users that are logged in. Same thing with item types or document types. It's as simple as right-clicking, new, and adding a new type. Now that we've added some of those new types, if we pull up an asset and we go to manually change the location, what we should see is room 101 is now in the list. This was the new location we added. So that's the main interface. Now the power of the RFID tracking system is that it integrates wirelessly or through USB with a handheld scanner. So what we have here is an image of my handheld scanner screen, and I'll go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. The scanner that you're looking at is what's pictured here, and what we see on the screen is actually the screen that I'm looking at on my handheld scanner here in person. When I open up the application, this is the main window, and I've got some different options here. We're not going to review all the options, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Add, as if I was going to add an asset. So I just click that on my handheld and it opens up the Add Item screen. This allows me to add an asset right on the handheld scanner, and then when I synchronize the database, it would synchronize back to the main system, the main database. One thing I want to look at here, when I go to location, the little button, you can see room 101 is not in this list of locations yet. That is because we have not added or synchronized the locations yet. I'm going to cancel out of there, and I'm going to go back to this main screen. I'm going to go to the sync option. We can see I already have my service, the IP address to my Tracking Plus server, and then I've got two synchronize options. A full refresh, which means take everything from the database and refresh what's on the handheld scanner, or updates only, which is what I'm going to currently do. I'm going to click the send button, and the handheld scanner is now communicating with the database, which we were looking at back here, and it synchronized any of the updates from the database, and it sent any new information on the handheld to the database, so it's a two-way synchronization. Now if we go to the Add section and we go to our locations, you'll notice room 101 is now available to us in this list. So let's look at performing an asset inventory. So I'm going to go to the asset inventory section on my handheld scanner, and just moving from the top down, we can see we can do an RFID inventory, or if I wanted to do a barcode inventory, I could do that as well. So maybe some of my assets have barcodes. I haven't gotten around to putting RFID tags on those. No problem. We can still perform an inventory using barcode. For this demo, we're just going to do RFID. The next section down, this is setting my location, and we can see we have a button. So on the handheld, I click on that button, and I set the location that I want to inventory. So let's say I'm going to inventory my repair parts room. When I do that, the system looks in the database and it says, okay, as of your last inventory, I'm expecting to see one item in this location. Let's just change the location for a moment to Media Center, because I can see from my database here in the background, we have about 6 items that are in the Media Center according to the database. If I click OK on that, we can see it's showing me I'm expecting for you to inventory 6 items. I can scroll down and see the descriptions of the items it's expecting to find in this location as I perform my inventory. For demo purposes though, let's choose a different location. So I'm going to go ahead and choose repair part section. Again, it's looking for one item. Down here I can set my power. So setting it all the way is 30. That's max power. So I could read maybe about 10-15 feet away. For demo purposes, I'm just going to lower this because I've got many RFID tags around me. I'm now going to pull the trigger on the RFID scanner and you'll hear some beeps. And it went ahead and read the RFID tags that I have sitting in front of me. Here we can see in this middle section, it's giving me some descriptions of the RFID tags I just read. And we can see, as I scroll down here, there's some different colors. There's a couple drop downs here that help me filter this a little bit. So this first drop down that currently says any, if I hit it, you'll see it's showing me my item types, my asset types. So if I only wanted to see what laptops did I just scan, I can choose that and it's going to filter this down on the handheld, show me only the laptops. Or I could say, did I scan any iPads? I did not. I'm going to set this back to any so we see our entire list. There is one other drop down here where it says all results. So if you remember, I was expecting to scan one item in this location. According to my last inventory, there was only one item in this location, the repair parts. Well, here we can see my results. I actually scanned 7 items. I was only expecting one. If I hit this drop down, I can say, well, show me, did I find any items? So found, yes, I found the HP laptop. I was expecting to find that. So we're happy there. If I hit this drop down and I choose missing, there weren't any missing items, so we're good. Moved, though, we do have a bunch of items. So these were all the items that were in yellow. Basically, moved are items that, according to the last inventory, were in a different location. So all of these items here were probably listed in the Media Center. Well, I just inventoried the repair parts section room, and I detected all these items. So the system's just giving me a warning saying, hey, I found these items in this room. Is this correct? If it is, I can go ahead and just check off these items to say that yes, I visually have verified that they are in fact in this location. We can also see if I go to new, it detected a new RFID tag. So maybe there's an asset that has been tagged but hasn't been added to the system yet. So if I'd like, right from the handheld, I can go ahead and say, yes, go ahead and save that RFID tag. Let's save that as a new asset to the database. I can hit save, and now I've saved my changes. Those changes right now are only on the handheld scanner. I have not synchronized yet with the main database. So if we switch back to the database here, and we just perform a search, we're going to see most everything is still in the Media Center, and we do have one item in the repair part section. If we flip back to our handheld scanner, I'm going to hit the sync button. I'm going to synchronize only the updates. I'm going to hit send. And again, the handheld scanner is going to communicate with the database, and it's complete. And now if we switch back here and perform a new search in my database, we're going to see a bunch of these items are now listed as being in the repair section. We can also see that new item has been added from the handheld scanner with the RFID tag value. So now I can go ahead and fill in this information to add it to the system. One other powerful feature with the handheld scanner, if I go to my asset inventory, I'm going to set my location again to the repair parts section. And I'm actually going to remove a couple tags here from my field and perform an inventory. And what we're going to do is see were there any items that were missing. So here we can see the ones in red. If I go back to my all results, it's showing me all the items. Anything in white were items I was expecting and found, but these items in red are missing items. So either right from this list where it says all results, I can click and choose a find, or I could filter this down and say only show me which ones were missing. Again, I click on it, hold down the little stylus and choose find, and what this does is it's going to open up a search screen for me, which works similar to like a metal detector, and it's going to show me I'm searching for the Dell Precision laptop. And now I can take my handheld scanner, pull the trigger, and start searching to see, do I detect this tag anywhere? Here you can see it starts beeping, and on the screen it shows me some information. As I get closer, the beeping gets more rapid, and you can see the little color status bar goes into the red, and it's almost full. So it's letting me know, hey, you're close, you're getting hot. I can lower the power, so maybe I have it at full power as I'm walking around the building or a room. So I'm reading 10, 15 feet out because I want to know, are you even finding this? Maybe it now started beeping and I'm in a section of shelving. So from here, I want to lower the power, so I'm not reading 10, 15 feet out, to help me zone in on this. So now as I pull the trigger, I know you can't see this, but I'm holding the tag probably about 5 feet away, and I'm getting some reads. As I get closer, now I'm about a foot away, it's beeping more rapidly. So you can use this search screen like a metal detector to help you locate an item. One other type of inventory that you're able to perform is just a simple inventory. And what this is, maybe I don't care about filtering information. I don't care about searching. I just want to do a quick inventory to see how many assets of what type are in our location. So I'm going to go set my location, and we'll just say I'm in room 101. And now I'm going to pull the trigger to start inventorying. And what you're going to see is the system is just going to update and show me the item types and how many of each I just scanned. So it's telling me in room 101, it just read 2 TV DVD combo assets, 2 laptops, 1 unknown asset, so this is a new one, and 2 library workstations. And again, from here, I can go back to my synchronize, send the updates, and synchronize with the main application. So this was a quick overview of the Tracking Plus application. Again, some of the key features are it can use RFID or barcode. The handheld application is very powerful, letting you do many of the features remotely, mobile, right on the handheld as I'm walking around performing an inventory. And when I'm done, I can synchronize directly to the database, either through Wi-Fi. The handheld scanner does have Wi-Fi, so we just enter the IP address and are able to communicate with the server, or I can dock it via USB cable and do a synchronization that way.